Hi, everybody. It's Granny here. So I thought I'd hop on and talk about the Portland deaths going on. Um, 6 women unalived um, in a very short amount of time and within 75 to 100 miles of each other. So thought I would discuss that today, break it down a little bit. You can hear Granny's take, right? Um, So we'll get to that in just a minute. Um, this is Granny with Granny Crime Busters. Okay, so I don't know how much you guys have heard about this, um, but police have recovered the remains of 6 women in and around Portland, Oregon, since February. So February, March, April, May, 3 months. And of course, what is that prompts fears about a serial killer. I mean, if I lived in Portland, I'd have a conceal and carry or, some kind of pepper spray or something on me. And I think I'd be making sure that I was going out in a buddy system, right? Um, if you live in the Portland area, please follow safety procedures. Use a buddy system. Um, I'm going to tell you a story. When my daughter and I, when my oldest daughter was going to college, and we took a road trip. Okay, she actually wanted to attend this one college, and as we live in north central Wisconsin, the college that she wanted to go to is in Tennessee. Um, hmm. So over by Knoxville, well, by Chattanooga, right in that area. Um, so, well, I grew up, um, my parents always loved music. So I grew up loving Elvis. And I'm like, okay, I realize it's the other side of the state, but I really want to see Graceland. So my daughter and I went on this road trip. Okay. Well, people were saying things like before we left about you two are going by yourself, you need to be really careful, blah, blah, blah. And I really didn't think anything of it. But I had this, I think it was my husband said, here, put this in your coat pocket. Well, it was an ice pick, I think like an old one. It had a wooden handle, and then, of course, the long stick out, the metal stick out the front of it, with a little hook, I think, on the end of it. Could do a lot of damage to somebody, really. Um, so I'm like, this thing is huge because, it was about that long and, not 8 inches or so. And so I'm like sticking it in my pocket, and I thought, well, if it's in there, all right, okay, So, um, but when we got out on the road, and it was just the two of us, and of course, nothing to look at, but my daughter was blonde, blue-eyed, you know, still is gorgeous as far as I'm concerned, um, and I was like, oh my gosh, this really could be scary. And so when we go into a gas station or something, I'd be very like aware, and then I'd have my hand on that in my coat pocket. you know, and but before we left, that didn't I didn't have any fear. So I'm saying that to say that if any of you, please, 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 please live in Portland area. Well, it doesn't matter anywhere, right? Doesn't matter anywhere you are. because we should all be careful. We should all be safe, but double protection for those who are in Portland. Buddy system, you know, do something. If you have an ice pick, put it in your pocket. Whatever you need to do. I know there are things nowadays that you can buy that are much better, pepper spray and different things, whistles, anything that you can do to keep yourself safe, please do it. So the victims were Kristen Smith was found on February 19th, Joanna Speaks on April 8th, Bridget Webster on April 30th, Charity Perry on April 24th, Ashley Reel on May 7th, and a sixth unidentified woman on April 24th. The last unidentified woman, of course, they're calling her Jane Doe. Seems like she could be Indian, dark complexion, dark hair, um, but they don't know her name and her whereabouts. They were all discovered within 75 miles of the Pacific Northwest city. However, Portland's police bureau pushed back on the idea that the cases may be connected. So they're not saying it, that they could all be connected. They're keeping things really close to the vest right now, right? We know about that from the Brian Koberger trial, don't we? Not always a bad thing, you guys. It's not. So they're keeping things very, very close to the vest. I think we only know of one cause and manner of death, and it was, I think, blunt force trauma to the head and scarring around the neck. But they're not releasing the rest. And the real thing here is, are they? It's like 6 jurisdictions. There's 6 different police jurisdictions where these bodies were found. Okay, and so are they talking to each other? Are they comparing notes, or are they not sharing details with each other? We understand that they wouldn't want to share the details with us, correct? I mean, that's understandable. But they would need to share the details with the other precincts that are involved in order to find out if this is, serial killer, if it's the same killer. That, when it hits the news like that, and there's 6 deaths in a close period of time, the women range in age from 22 to 40, I guess. I don't know. I don't think that's a coincidence. What do you guys think? I wanted to kind of go in and listen to Ashley Banfield. She's getting, got a little bit more information, and she's asking some good questions. So we're going to go ahead and share my screen and listen to that. All right, here we go.
Portland Police Bureau, multiple sheriff's departments working on this case, and yet nobody is using that term yet, serial killer. But I've been through this before. This is the way it always starts. Nobody says it until they say it. So I want to bring in Alex Capriello, our News Nation correspondent on the case. What are police exactly saying about this, Alex? It seems awfully suspicious when you have 6 found in 3 months, all in that small area.
Yeah, for a while we were seeing them take the steps forward in investigating these cases, but never actually bring them together as one. Just recently, they drew a hard line in the sand saying, hey, we have no facts, no evidence to support the claims that this is a serial killer. But I think you're absolutely right, Ashley. It's completely fair to say, right? There's 6 women that are now dead, all within about a 50-mile radius from Portland. There's a lot of fear, anxiety that's going on in this greater Portland area. They want answers. They want to know what exactly is happening up there. But at this point, only one of those women have a confirmed cause of death from law enforcement and from the medical examiner. As you mentioned, Joanna Speaks, she's the victim who they say was killed, murdered by homicide, blunt force trauma to the head and to the neck. The rest of these, we still don't know, many of them still being labeled suspicious.
So are there any other pattern stories that at least they're releasing? Are they keeping this all close to the vest? Or is it basically they just don't know?
I just don't think that they know right now, not enough to actually draw a comparison or a pattern to them. We do know at least 3 of these cases, right? Joanna, Ashley Reel, Charity Perry, and Bridget Webster, they have labeled these as suspicious, right? Many of these women's bodies are being found in wooded areas, rural areas. One of the bodies was found by a fisherman. He called 911, said it was in a deeply wooded area. So certainly enough reason for people to draw conclusions on their own and feel that sense of anxiety surrounding all of these women. But right now, no obvious links other than the fact that these are all women within their 20s to 30s, many of them found in rural, remote areas.
Yeah, all of that says suspicious to me. I don't know why not all 6 would be obviously found, out in the woods, et cetera, suspicious. But multiple law enforcement agencies say they're all sharing, like the Portland Police Bureau, the multiple sheriff's departments. They say they're all sharing, but there's no one single tip line at this point. So anybody who might have any information, they kind of have to go to the detachment that's closest to them. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's very streamlined.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge problem that needs fixing, right? Usually when we see these types of cases pop up, like say the FBI gets involved, FBI launches their own tip line, and it's all one coordinated effort. But right now we're seeing multiple agencies, whether they're police departments or local sheriff's departments, that are all sort of treating this sort of isolated, and they're handling their own case. Like, for example, the Portland Police Bureau in their statement says, hey, we're not even commenting on 3 of these cases. We're not going to speculate or talk about it because it's just not in our jurisdiction. And to me, that's a bit of a problem, right? They do say that they're sharing sort of information and evidence that they find. They're communicating with each other. But at the same time, they're asking for the public's help to come forward, share information and share facts if they knew any of these victims. But how are these people going to come forward if there's not one exact tip line? So right now, what we are seeing is sort of an isolated effort among all these different law enforcement agencies, but still Portland Police Bureau saying no evidence to support the claim of a serial killer.
Seems to me that was a problem in the Golden State Killer as well, that there wasn't a lot of sharing of information. They could have probably found that guy faster if there had been, a better system. But, that was 40 years ago. Now we have all sorts of platforms to be able to share. Keep us posted on that, Alex Capriola. Really perplexing stuff. Thank you for the report live. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And
Okay, so what do you guys think? It's kind of interesting, isn't it? So I have a feeling, though, with the amount of pressure from the media, these people start working together pretty quickly. I really believe that. Because, when the media gets together, the public, that starts to put pressure. And so they'll end up having to work together. I saw something earlier where an FBI agent was asked, do they get involved and stuff like that? And they said, no, literally, it's kind of like what happened with Moscow, where Moscow asked the FBI to come in, and then wanted to utilize all their resources and everything. So individual places have to request the FBI. So it's not like the FBI can just comes in and asks for, So yeah, this is kind of really sad. I really hoping and praying that there aren't more victims found before they figure out what's going on in Portland and near Portland. In this report, they said 50 miles. I've seen 75 and 100 miles. But they showed where those bodies were found, and most of them were found in a heavily wooded area. To me, that's an MO right there. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll stay in touch with this case, and I'll let you guys know when something new happens with it. And let me know in the comments what you think. If you haven't subscribed, or please like the video as well. But if you haven't subscribed, please do so. When we get to 100 subscribers, I am giving something away. So help us get that goal. All right, we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.